Havelock, as you are making your way across the ocean floor, just generally looking for things of interest and making your way, what is your passive perception?
That-
What? You need me to look at your character sheet?
That would be a 17.
Okay. As you are just swimming along, you notice that the natural wildlife is starting to become scarcer. And this leads you to believe that there is something approaching or around that is causing everything to hide. What do you do?
Did anyone else hear the motorcycles? That's just me.
Don't hear any motorcycle.
Okay, good. So it's walking.
Okay.
Okay, so the question is, what do I do? I start to try to find any wildlife around that.
Okay. Make a perception check.
What's going on? Alright, give me one moment. Could have gotten a 19. I got a 3. That's a 10.
Okay. You look around and you don't see anything that would be scaring away all the fish and nearby wildlife. But there does seem to be some sort of presence that seems to at least be near you that is causing everything to disperse, though you are unable to perceive it.
So I can't see it?
That's correct. But you do perceive the sense that you are being observed.
I'd like to do another perception check to see if I could see if anything's hiding around me.
Okay. You can look again. You can make an investigation check if you would like.
And they're both the same, +7, so.
Okay.
Ooh, 14. 21.
You do not see anything physically in the space around you.
Something's using magic to spy on me then. Or something similar to magic.
Do you say this out loud?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna have Locke looks around very suspiciously. Then he just yells, "Whoever the hell is watching, come on out, please. I'm getting annoyed.
Make a
Scaring
persuasion
away the
check.
fish." Oh no, persuasion. What's that? Ooh. 17.
Okay. Suddenly you hear a voice, and the voice seems to be as if the person is just standing right beside you. However, you are unable to perceive them with any other sense other than sound, as they say. Oh, I'm terribly sorry about this. Sorry to bother you. I was wondering, do you mind helping me out with a spot of trouble that I'm in?
Depends on what kind of subway we're talking about.
Well, I can see that you are quite caught up with a bit of business here, but I can't help but recognize that spear that you've got there, and, well, if you're interested in learning about where it came from and perhaps finding the other pieces of it, might be able to point you in the right direction. After all, I can't specifically do anything myself, but, you know, if anyone to overhear me, that's not really something I can deal with. It's not in my jurisdiction.
I take it in Sans for the information. You would want me to help you out with something?
Not help me specifically. You see, there's a few individuals that have lost their way and could use someone like you with your set of skills and background. They just need a guide finding their way.
I don't mind helping someone around, depending on who it is.
Very well.
I don't mind helping someone around, depending on who it is.
They're not anyone from around here, and, well, where you'll be going won't be around here necessarily, but let's just say that this has a bit more to do with you than you truly realize, and I think you might be interested in learning a bit more about your background, I suppose.
How do I know I can take your word for it?
That's just the point. You technically can't, but really all my word is all that I have. After all, I am simply just a disembodied voice. So, that is to say that I really cannot give you anything else other than my word, but at the same point, at least you know that I'm not trying to deceive you by trying to give you any false proof.
Very well. If you can provide me with information about the spear afterwards, you have a deal.
Easy enough. Just, follow the spear. And as the voice says that, you actually feel the tip of the spear shift its direction a little bit, as if the weight changes and it begins to pull you in a direction, as if an unforeseen current is just sort of pulling it along. Do you follow?
This should be interesting, and I follow the spear.
The spear leads you down towards the sea floor until it leads you to this very interesting rock formation that almost seems to bend and open up like almost a man-made structure, but this was not carved, this was not forged. This is something far more ancient than anything you've experienced.
Can I do an investigation, sir?
Sure. You can definitively tell that this is not shaped by physical hand. This is also not shaped by magic necessarily. It's almost as if the structure of this is not planned necessarily. This is not shaped to a specific design, but the natural collection of these rocks and corals and sand and silts has been shaped in a way that is natural to the essence of nature itself. This leads you to believe that this is a shrine.
I dislike the thought of religion, but this is where the spear points me to. Is the spear leading anywhere else, or it's just directly to the side?
Directly inside.
Alright, I'm gonna go inside.
Okay. It's at this point that we're going to cut back to Joshua and Holgir. Both of you are standing on the deck of the Delta Dawn as you have just experienced this terrible effect as most of your crew has been whisked away, and Joshua is still suffering from a terrible wound as the ice is embedded into him. I assume at this point you have removed the frost bolts from yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm making sure he's all patched up before I hit him with that cure wounds last time.
Okay. Easy enough. And Nefret says that this is quite unfortunate, as this was not foreseen. Things are being tampered with. The flow of time and space should not work like this. This is not in my jurisdiction, and yet I cannot allow something like this to happen without intervening.
Is that what this is? We went back in time.
Not necessarily, but the removal of those individuals is something that is not allowed in the, I'm echoing slightly in your microphone, Holgir.
Oh, my bad.
The, what was I saying?
They got removed. It's bad.
I looked upon your... I looked upon your strands of fate when I first met you, and this was something that was not foretold, and so someone is significantly messing with the flow of time. You all have a very important aspect to attend to later on, and it is not my business to interfere, and yet someone else has. What can be done at this point, I do not know. I suppose...
we could get the crew back together.
And as you say that, you watch as Nefret begins to move their claws, and you see almost like a 3D I'm sorry. Hearing myself is making me lose my train of thought. The world around you suddenly becomes enveloped as if there is a grid layout over everything. Tiny little lines wrapping over everything, giving them location and texture. And you watch as Nefret begins to pull on several of those strings and actually pulls the fabric that makes up the landscape towards the boat, and actually folds the boat up as the shore is suddenly pulled towards you all. And
Did he cut out for anyone else, or was that just me?
What?
You cut
Yeah,
out
you cut
just
out a little
before
bit.
you.
Oh. What was the last thing that
good.
you heard me
My
say?
Wi-Fi was fucking up.
We missed the bit where you actually described how he was pulling the threads and making the world shift.
Okay. Basically, you see the Holgir, only you can see this. You see the individual strands coming off of people and objects and plant life and, specific locations, and they all convene into this weave that wraps over everything, and Nefret begins to pull on these strands and actually fold the fabric of reality, and pulls the shore towards the boat and actually folds half of the boat, and you merely have to take a single step before you are standing before a door of this sort of ornate structure. Just like in a moment, suddenly everything becomes warped and zooms far too quickly for you to comprehend as Inefrit folds space and time.
Yeah, you know. A Tuesday.
You must act with haste if you are to find one another again. Quickly now.
Do you cross over?
I feel bad for leaving without saying goodbye to the captain, but yeah.
Joshua? He's just holding the microphone down.
I think it might have swapped back over to his headphones.
Oh,
there it
dear.
is. Yeah, check your audio input, because all we're hearing is, like, reverb and static.
Yeah. We can hear ourselves repeating very slightly, but we can't hear you at all. Joshua? Okay.
Yeah, I thought I fixed it. Anyway, I thought this was an only whole gear kind of thing.
No, this is both of you on the ship right now.
Yeah, we gotta go link back up with the rest of the crew.
Only Holgear could see the strands, but when Inefrit folded space and time, suddenly there's a building right in front of you where half the ship used to be. And
Yeah.
around you, the ship does seem to be continuing going through. It's very trippy what's happening right now.
You gotta go back to the past.
Okay.
If only I was an
Samurai
Ninja,
Jack.
then this be a pretty good reference.
Yes! Someone gets it!
Yeah, we all got the
My
reference.
man, you gotta
Anyways.
hang out more. Yeah, Joshua follows whole gear and the crab, the Nefrit.
Okay. Inefrit leads you over towards a building, and with a wave of his hand, the door just also kind of swings open, allowing you entry without even really latching or unlocking the door. It just sort of bends and opens and then pops back into its normal shape.
Quickly now. You must make your way into the caverns below. Perhaps your paths will cross again.
Thank you, Inefrit.
You ain't half bad, my man. You ain't half bad. I hope we meet again. And Joshua kind of waves goodbye.
We will meet again shortly. Enough with this prattle. You're wasting time. Make haste. All explanations will be in due time when you return. Be gone.
I was just trying to be nice.
Come on, come on.
And as you guys begin to make your way through this building, it's basically like a dome, sort of like an observatory. And then the center of it has this sort of like low rope that's sort of around this rock structure that's appearing up out of the ground. It's as if this structure was made in some sort of preservation attempt for this rock structure, which looks very sad and forlorn and kind of sagging into the ground. But you can see that there is sort of this crack in the stone that you might be able to squeeze through. And as you're making your way inside, you hear a sound. Oh. Hey now. What you doing? And you look over and you see an old man in this sort of dusty guard's uniform just sitting in a rocking chair. It's I shouldn't have said guard uniform. It's not like a specific like blue collar uniform. He's just kind of got this very simplistic outfit that is relatively nice, and he's kind of got this his blanket over his legs and a scarf around his neck, and you can see that he was basically dozing off, but he doesn't really have much to guard, as nobody really seems to be interested in this aspect. But he looks over at you with these wise old eyes and questions what you're doing here.
We're here to save the universe, young man.
Young man. Make a persuasion check.
All right.
My dad's smoking something downstairs and it smells really good.
As in meat or some of that good stuff? The good stuff.
I would assume food. We're not really into that other stuff.
The dang holy kush.
Yes, the all-seeing Kush.
Devil's lettuce.
That Kush does let you see all sorts of things, but
Fair.
I rolled a 15.
okay. He kind of looks at you and can tell that you're not ruffians here to sort of make a mess of the system. And he says, so, what you making your way inside for?
You know, I know lots of kids would go down there looking for adventure, but it's been closed for years. Decades almost. What do you want out of it?
and he sort of leans in, peering at both of you.
The magic
we're
crowd told us.
We're here to poke a hole in reality and jump realities.
And as you look back, Inefra and the boat are not there anymore. So it's just you in the building.
We're
Well,
looking for a large crystal.
you won't find any crystal down there. The caves will test you. You must be prepared if you are to head down below. Do you know what it is that you seek?
Yeah, we seek our companions, the rest of our crew.
And how will you do so?
Well, the standard technique is to find said large crystal that does not exist down there, apparently, and touch it, hop a different reality, and then pop out of wherever the likewise position is in the other reality.
Well, if you're looking for your friends, you've come to the right place.
And he gestures to the wall behind him, and you can see a bunch of different plaques of several names grouped together, and they all have like titles, and you get the idea that these are groups and team names. And you can also see another wall that describes the wonderful national treasure that is the Trial of Teamwork. And there's a brief history and lore describing how it was created and how heroes of old would seek this out to test themselves and see how well they were bonded with their groups. And it now just looks old and decrepit.
So, how does this work?
If you're looking for your friends, you may find them. But how you go about it and how it works isn't really up to me. But what I will say is that you won't need those.
And he points at your holster, Joshua, and your books. Basically, he's pointing at your weapons.
The trial based itself upon who you are and how you present yourself and whatever you bring with you. Your weapons.
That works.
You will not need them.
That works too.
Yoda.
Yes. Take an egg point, Havelock.
I was literally
Alright.
1 second off.
Does that mean we have to follow the Cave of Nightmares?
You do what you will.
And he kind of closes his eyes and nestles back into his sleeping spot.
I swear to God, if we come back up here and he's just a corpse, I'm gonna freak.
No, he's just gonna be a ghost that's just sitting in a rocking chair.
And when you look back, he was never there to begin. No, I'm just kidding. So you guys step over the barrier and squeeze in the crack.
We enter
Joshua
the
goes
Cave of
first.
Mysteries.
Okay. Let's now step over to Talia and Zephyr. Talia, you are meditating quietly as Zephyr is in the
Cursing
background.
loudly.
Yeah, he's cursing so loudly that I can hear him in the cave, to where I turn around and say, "Shut up! I can hear you from in here. I shouldn't have to."
He just kind of it doesn't acknowledge it, but he gets quieter.
Oh my! Thank God.
Okay.
Now I can fucking meditate.
So, what are you two doing?
Honestly, Zephyr's low-key panicking. He's trying to figure out how to make his... He's trying to unfuck his life right now.
And I'm just sitting in a cave meditating.
Okay.
Literally opposite situations.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Zephyr's gonna look for a way out of the cave.
Well, you're not in the cave.
No, no, it's my cave. No one else.
You're
Right.
on a cliff. That you can see the cave entrance because Talia went down to it. I think normally you probably wouldn't have been able to notice it, but since Talia walked straight up to the cave entrance, you were able to see where she's at.
Sure. So I just kind of want to do a general, like, perception check of the area around, kind of get a stock of my
Okay, go for it.
situation. Ooh, that was pretty bad. Okay. Oh, this is perception. Cool. That was much better. 15.
You die.
What?
No, you. Again, what you see is that you are on the edge of the Shattered Mountains, looking out over the sea where the Shattered Isles are. Along the coast is the main city. This large island is kind of like this crescent shape, and you're basically at the epicenter of it.
Okay. Is it recognizable to me? Like,
Yes, this is where
okay.
you're from.
I know that it's where I'm from, but like, is this a place that I've been before, or is this
No, I don't
just
think you've
something I've
ever been
seen?
up here in the mountains before. I think
Gotcha.
you mostly spent your time not on the main shore, but like where the islands are. And you know that before you lost your crew, you were making your way over towards the city. But you know,
Sure.
then you encountered what you encountered.
Right.
So yeah, this is like in the heart of the mountains.
Okay, so this is like a place that I've sailed past, but not really explored in depth.
This would not be a place that you could sail towards or see from the sea line. This is sort of
Gotcha.
like slightly lower than sea level, inland quite a bit. And so there is like this gentle, like whenever the waves lap against the shore, they push a little bit of water inland into this like little river that trickles down, leading into this cave.
Gotcha.
It's a very beautiful and serene place that is magical, even without, the essence of magic. If you were to see this just naturally in the world, it would feel like there's this essence about it.
I love that. Do I see the coast from down here, or is it kind of like I can tell that it's just over the edge?
Yeah, you can see the coast from here.
Okay, cool. I'd like to try and climb up and see if I can find like a port somewhere. Get a better look.
Okay, you want to like climb the mountain?
So we're at a cave that's slightly below sea level. I want to get to sea level to see where the so I can get a better look at the coast around and see if I can see any like semblance of a town somewhere.
Okay, yes. You would have seen that before you had even moved anywhere, and this is what I described last session, is that town is several miles away. You could definitely get there on foot before the end of the day. It would be a trek. It would not be fun.
Yeah.
And you would probably get there by like maybe nightfall, but you would be able to like buy a room and like spend the night. But yes, I mean, as long as there's not any wanted posters up for you, which you assume that there are. So heading to town is probably not the thing you want to do.
Right.
And you have no way to get to the Shattered Isles without some sort of sea vessel.
Right. Yeah, I think he's just gonna sit on a rock and wait for Talia to finish up.
Okay. What's Talia doing while Zephyr is whatever he's doing?
Zephyr is doing.
I think after Talia is well, is there a way out of the cave that's not the entrance?
Make a history check.
Okay. History. Can I auto 20 that?
You may. For a total
Yay. That'd be a 23.
Okay. You've been to this cave several times, but never because you've gone looking for it specifically. Like, you've been wanting to go there and it's appeared. And that's the interesting thing. There doesn't seem to be a specific geological place that you could go to and recognize that this is where it is. It's almost like it simply appears when it wants you to enter and when you want to enter. And now it has presented itself to you, and you have also exited from it in what you would assume to be the entrance, but in different places and different times of the day. It's a truly magical place.
Why am I getting room of requirement vibes?
Whatever sort of connections
Like
you would like to make.
Like, why am I getting room of requirement vibes from this cave?
It is what you need and has always been there for you.
I think knowing that, I mean, I don't, as much as I despise the rabbit, I will go back and say, hey, get your ass over here. We're gonna go through the cave.
He just kind of nods and gets up, takes his equipment with you.
Just ears down, head low, just like, yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we're gonna go through the cave and hopefully end up like in town somewhere, so we can function a little bit better.
Okay.
As we get closer to the town, Zephyr kind of goes, "Hey,
you're not getting to town.
okay,
You're
cool,
in
cool,
the.
cool, cool, cool,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just saying that if we were heading towards the town, I was gonna say something before we got there. That's all.
Well, you're just heading into the cave at the moment.
Gotcha.
Okay. As you begin to step into the cave, you notice the rock is very different than the natural landscape. You know, the rocks outside are this sort of gray stone and dark rock. But inside the cave is almost like a smooth, luminous, sort of deep blue, slate color. Very much not the same sort of stone and texture. And this is true for all of you. As you begin slowly progressing, the pathways become much more clear, distinct, direct. Pathways are about 5 feet wide by 10 feet tall. You're easily able to maneuver through them with ease, and you're just sort of making your way through, sort of twisting and turning around. You have moments to yourselves thinking about what's going to happen next, when you notice that there is this trickle of water making its way across the floor, and then the water begins to rush faster and faster and become more and more, and then you suddenly turn around and there's a gush of water behind you, and it sweeps you up in an instant and begins to hurl you around the space. Havelock, you are thrust in this tumultuous current as you are thrown about, and when you are able to break free, you are suddenly in the middle of crashed debris and ruins, and you can see that structures from this village are just a mess out here. And you recognize this. It's almost like recalling a memory, but it's from a different perspective. You're here again, but you have a different opportunity this time. This is the first time that your village got attacked. What do you do?
Are we referring to the pirate attacks?
Yes. There are the underground, or the underwater village is being attacked by these pirates that are swinging down into the ocean, which is your natural habitat, from these ships on the ocean above. These boats are floating across the surface and yet are lowering tethers of these humanoids that do not belong down here and should not be able to walk and breathe as they should, and yet with these contraptions around them seem to be able to do whatever they want and are basically raiding this village.
Can I do an investigation check to see, like, if I can find, like, any weaknesses in their actions? That way I could, like, break them and they down.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Okay, one moment. Only one.
You look at their contraptions, you look at their structures, and they are not flawless. In fact, their advance and approach is quite sloppy. It's an act of rage and passion. You realize that this is almost a spite attacking. This is not out of looting. This is an eradication for fear of your race. And as they are just moving through in this onslaught, you realize that the only reason why they're winning is not because of their technological advancements or any of their, specific skills or tactics, but sheer numbers. You are outnumbered more than you are outmatched. And this is the problem that you faced last time. You were unable to do anything because you were simply overwhelmed.
Even if I attempted to interfere, I'd probably just end up in being one of the people slaughtered.
Exact. So sometimes it is better to regroup and fight another day.
Even though Havelock is going to be having a mental breakdown right now of he really wants to go in and kill them, he realizes that even if he decided to, he'd just end up dead. So he stays out of this. If anything, he starts helping a few people. He decides to see if he could help anyone escape instead of fight.
You start gathering up the individuals that are panicked and running away, and you begin to maneuver them into safety as the structures around you are still falling apart and the shrapnel explodes. And Holgir and Joshua, you jolt awake from the street, and you push off against the cold, wet tile, and you look around. You remember this scene quite well. You were knocked unconscious during the brawl, the fray that was happening around you. People are scattering and running around. The world is on fire. And Holgir, you fear that you might have something to do with it, as well as you, Joshua.
Well, duh. I'm on fire.
The world is on fire, and you fear that it may be your fault.
I mean, I didn't do shit, but I don't know what I can do with this situation.
Is there something
Is there
you'd like to
any
do,
way?
Joshua? Oh, go ahead.
Is there any way I can determine whether or not this is purely a hallucination, or is this like we're back in time again?
What you can tell is that this seems very much like the same situation, but from a different perspective. Because when you first got knocked out, the only time you woke up was in the prison. So the fact that you are here again means that you are given another chance, another look at the situation. Because you've always felt like you could have done something, you wanted to do something more, and now you're having that opportunity. So what would you like to do with it? Joshua?
Joshua gets up from the ground and says, "Why does it always come back to this?" And kind of just looks around, trying to see if there's anything he could do to help this burning world.
Can I create a large, like, silent image of, like, basically I want to put up signs like exit signs at any of the entrances so that way civilians can get away easier?
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh fuck. I'm gonna use an auto 20 because I rolled a nat one.
I'm going to allow you to use a DM inspiration, but not an auto 20 for this. So you may choose to roll again, but not an auto 20.
Let me subtract that. Reroll. Respectable, 18.
You conjure this image for a few moments, and as you're trying to call out and get any sort of order to the system, people are just buffeting you around. Someone elbows you right in the face. You are pushed and pulled, and you almost, yanked to the ground again, almost slamming your skull against the pavement again. And it is very difficult for you to remain concentration on this spell. But the fact that you are seems to do little to no difference.
Oh, well, it's not concentration, but... Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, it is. I'm dumb.
What did you want to do, Joshua? You wanted to look around for something to do?
Yeah, anything that
perception
I can
check.
help.
Oh, I have something I can do. Go ahead, Joshua, though.
I think your perception's pretty good.
$17.
Okay. You look around, and mostly what you see is just swarms of people. You can see that people are climbing onto buildings, but those that are seem to only be encouraging the fray as they are throwing fire and shooting spells and just tearing down banners and setting things aflame. You look around for anything of interest, anything of note. You don't know where you are. You don't know what's happening, and people aren't specifically going in any particular direction. It is absolute chaos.
Joshua decides to find Holgear so they could go beat up those spell guys,
Okay.
those magic users.
You may make an investigation check. Holgear, what did you want to do?
I wanted to find the largest knot of chaos and cast Hypnotic Pattern on it.
Okay. Make another concentration check, yeah. So Constitution saving throw.
13 for my investigation.
Okay.
And a 19 con save.
Okay. You cast Hypnotic Pattern, and for a brief moment, the entire party around you, this rave that's happening, this tumultuous dance that's swirling around all of you, slows for a moment. And you both lock eyes across this mess as people just sort of sway back and forth for a moment in this weird space. And as almost in response to this, you hear voices calling out like, "There!" or "Oh!" And you get the idea that you have drawn attention from some of the aggressors, and individuals are making their way towards both of you now.
Oh, they want to pick a fight.
But Holgear
I
and
think
Joshua,
we
you see
do.
each other.
Okay,
Shall
I'll make
we
my way
give
over
him
to.
a fight? Oh, sorry.
I'll make my way over to Joshua. Just being careful not to shake people out.
Okay. And in this moment where you both have reasons to be here and reasons to be upset or afraid and angry and wanting to do something about the situation, you were separate and without purpose until this point. But now you come together and stand side by side, ready for what's next. Because when you were alone, you were unable to do anything before. Talia, Zephyr, you are suddenly on board the deck of a ship, being tossed asunder aboard the sea. You watch as ships around you explode as nature just demolishes them. You watch as the ocean launches up in these cascading waves that cut through the sky, and the wind comes from the clouds and breaches through the water, allowing you to see the ocean floor hundreds of feet below. The sky and the sea are at battle with each other, and you are simply specks of dust in the wind. And as you are on the deck of the ship, feeling this just insignificant aspect of yourself, you realize that there's no point in even bothering and trying. And then suddenly the boat jerks again, and you realize that if you are to be insignificant, then perhaps you can be ignored, and you're going to fight with every essence that you have. And you rush to the stern of the ship, climbing your way up the broken stairs and grab aboard the wheel, and you're both staring at each other in the eyes. Each of you have one hand on the wheel of the ship. What do you do?
I hesitate to see if she is going to assert herself over this wheel.
Just to be clear, Zephyr has earned his own ship and was a captain for a time. Talia, you were still working as a crew aboard ship when this essence happened to you. This battle that caused you to lose your ship and crew. You have not earned a ship of your own as of yet. But as you look in Zephyr's eyes, do you want to relinquish control of the ship to him? Talia?
I'm here.
Okay.
No. I'm
Okay.
putting my foot down.
What do you do, Zephyr?
I go tie myself to the mast of the ship.
Do you want help with that?
Nope, I'm quite proficient at tying knots.
So you intend to sink?
No, I intend to not fall off the boat.
The ship is battered and is taking on water and needs to be saved.
Okay.
The crew has been lost to the sea. It is just the two of you manning this vessel at this point in time.
Okay. Okay. DM to player.
Yes.
What are the options that I have in front of me to
It
help?
seems as
If
though
it's-
if you want to survive, you'll have to work together.
Sure. I don't know if this is something that I'll roll for as a character, or if this is something that I could just get advice on myself. Would it be smarter for us both to man the wheel together, or
I do
is
not
there
ever
another
want you to
job
be
that
concerned about game mechanics. I want you to tell me what you want to do.
I'm just thinking along the lines of, is there even something else for me to do that could be helpful other than piloting the ship? Because if Talia's got that covered, I want to make sure that I could help out in another
There
way.
is far more to be done in controlling a ship than simply steering the wheel.
Right.
Because
state
a
of the
captain
sails?
is only as powerful as their crew.
What's the state of the sails?
The sails are currently stripped and lost, but the backup sails are still taut and tied up.
Okay, I'm gonna go try and release those sails.
All right,
Get them in position.
you go ahead and go do that. Talia, what are you doing? You're just manning the wheel?
Yes, I am gonna be manning the wheel.
Okay.
Someone's gotta steer this thing.
And together, the both of you manage to it's a tumultuous effort, but you feel like in any second you will both just be gone in an instant, and yet somehow you keep spending every essence of what you have left, pushing like 200% trying to man the ship and make sure that it keeps moving, and it seems to yield no effort as suddenly the ocean disappears below you and the ship begins to fall, and the sky goes black as a massive wave falls down on top of you, and then you all surface in a small room, gasping for breath. You're in a small domed room, the light reflecting across the surface of the water, casting rippling shadows around you. Down below there is just this empty blackness, but you can easily make your way to the edges of this room where this sort of rock outcropping comes out, and you can sort of easily make your way up and sort of walk up this gentle incline.
Yeah, I'd very much like to do that. I'm kind of like the essentially what happened was like we went underneath the water and then popped up in this new location.
Correct. And
Yeah, I'm
all
gonna
of
take
you
a second and take
pop
that in,
up
actually.
from the water.
Oh, so the whole party is here.
Yes, everyone is here.
He is going to put his back against the nearest wall and have a hand on his weapon, and he is wide-eyed and afraid.
Okay.
That's a very fair apprehension, man. I won't lie. It's completely reasonable, but it seems as though higher powers has ordained that you're going to be stuck with us.
Is this just a thing that happens? People get stuck with you?
Honestly, yeah.
Pretty much.
Havelock, you are also here. You went through a far less strenuous vision, but you make your way up out of the water and look at all these unfamiliar faces.
So, welcome to the fold. I feel like probably apologies are in order.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very sorry for shooting your friend.
Don't apologize to me.
Oh, cut the crap, Zephyr. We both know that's a lie.
No. I am truly and very deeply sorry. I had no idea that this was a crew from the Shattered Islands. I just knew that I had a contract to save my crew, which, by the way, the clock is ticking, and I gotta produce results or kill my client before he kills my crew.
Hey, prison break. Nice.
Apology accepted. Let's go get ourselves a crew.
He is so ecstatic that it went over just like that. He was fully prepared to fight his way out of this, and then just be sitting there. If he survives, on the off chance that he survives, be sitting there going like, how the hell do I even get in contact with my client to let them know the job is done?
Yeah, there was a few not quite worked out details, I think.
But that's why you don't just handshake on a deal without learning all the details.
Yeah. Then again,
Aplock
who
is
the
just
fucking
standing
guess?
here looking at all of them, very confused on where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Hey,
and
you're-
so
Okay,
okay, so
Zephyr,
we
that
know
was...
you, Sniper. Go ahead. What was that? Talia?
Zephyr, that was your fault. You should have known better than that. You idiot.
Yeah, well, you know,
be
having
fair.
your crew in danger kind of clouds your judgment.
And to his point, he had no idea what he was getting into. And
And
also, quick question. Is he with you? Points to Havelock. Was he? Did you meet him? 'Cause
No, I thought he was
haven't.
with you.
Oh no. Who are
Oh,
you?
so another person got stuck with you?
Havelock, would you like to describe yourself?
Blue.
Dabu dee dabu die?
I don't know how to exactly describe a fish man.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
he opens his mouth to grin and you just see rows of teeth.
are you a
Hello?
Triton or one of those like Lokatha?
He is a Simic hybrid, which means that he just kind of looks like a Genasi, but like
Oh.
water.
Okay. So he's kind of just an experiment.
He's
I
a
just
he's a
like human.
merfolk.
At some
Oh,
point.
okay.
I will
Sorry.
say this. Joshua, Holgear, and Talia can make a investigation or history check. Because there is something relatively familiar about this individual.
Who
Sure,
all
those
can make the
options.
check?
Everybody can make the check except for the new people.
Okay.
Can I just use an auto 20?
You may.
And what were the options? Arcana,
Investigation or history.
History. it
History,
is.
please.
Eh.
Oh, that's some shit.
There is something unseemly about this figure. Something sort of familiar. But like in a dream. You can't quite put your finger on it, except if you roll good. What'd you get, Holger?
Oh, I got a 13.
Okay. You have
Alright.
seen his race before somewhere. You can't place it. Talia?
Can I use an adversity token? I rolled a 9.
Okay.
Damn.
With a 9 plus, you definitely recognize that this is an individual that you have encountered before, but they were not hostile. And then you remember, and Joshua, you remember specifically, instantly, actually, because you met a figure like this before in Yashira. Back when Connor allowed himself to be the host for this type of figure.
He's a freaking Wizard of Oz thing.
He is one of the precursors.
Oh.
Oh, I think I remember that guy.
Flap your heels, Alice, and say there's no place like home 3 times.
He's got this sort of like deep blue, almost greenish skin, and the veins that would run underneath the skin almost seem to be growing over the top of it like vines. And he almost seems to be almost more made of like muscle than actual skin, except that there is like this layer that grows over the top of it. He can like shift it at will, and you get that's this sort of ability that he has, which allows him to move through the water with ease. It's almost like he's a humanoid that's not designed for like air walking, basically.
Yeah, I've seen the history.
Yeah, he's like a deep sea creature. Not like Swamp Thing, but like I'm struggling to describe this, but yes. Anyways.
Please don't make me look like Swamp Thing. Out of everything, not Swamp Thing, please.
No, you're not Swamp Thing.
You're like the thing from the Black Lagoon.
I'm Thing Swamp.
Yeah, more like the thing from the Black Lagoon. That's a better. He's a fish man. He's got like gills and stuff and whatnot. But he can breathe. But yeah. You are in a small room. Let me just redirect it from my notes. You all surface into a small chamber. The pool of water stops being bottomless near a small outcropping. The stone tapers out. You'll easily swim ashore, stepping onto a smooth rock landing that encircles the chamber. The stone around you is elegant and magical to look at. The natural worn surface of the walls, ceiling, and floor cause most of the surface to be smooth and rippled with no jagged edges. This place has clearly been shaped by water running across each and every surface, though its design is clearly intentional. In this space you are able to breathe, take stock of the situation, and progress at your own leisure. Off to one side of this circular chamber is a small inset, about 15 feet across, with a smooth stone wall that is flat. The wall is about 10 feet high, with a significant lip for someone to stand upon once they've climbed atop it, another 10 more feet before the domed ceiling above. The wall is completely smooth with no outcroppings or indentations for climbing, though this is clearly the only way to proceed inwards. Your only clue to traverse this environment is a metallic plaque embedded into the wall. The metal is darkened and slightly worn from age. The color and texture appear to be similar to Talia's weapon, like the luminescent white color of pearl, but hardened and forged without glossiness, and slight streaks of green like veins or sea plants floating in the crystal waters of the ocean. Though the plaque is ancient, its inscription is easily read. The language is clearly primordial, but those who can understand Sylvan or Deep Speech will recognize hints of those languages in the markings through various similarities through symbols, like an accent used, but in writing rather than spoken language. Needless to say, the artifact has been enchanted to be able to be read by any creature, though anything lost in translation is unfortunate. The plaque reads, "Climb. There will always be obstacles in life, but they are easier to overcome with help."
Well, judging real quick, last time with our test, it was basically find your allies to succeed. Was that similar for you?
Is he asking Zephyr?
I'm just putting that out to the group.
I think in general what he's saying is that when you guys had your visions, what the thing that you wanted to do was realize that you can't do it alone, and so you had to find help. And now you have all been brought together, where you must help
Yeah.
one another.
How
So-
tall is this the wall that we're trying to
10
climb?
feet. And then there's
Oh.
10 more feet to the ceiling. So it's not
Okay.
it's not impossible, but you'll just need a little boost.
Could somebody just throw me over? I'm super small. You could tie ropes
Josh-
to me and just toss me over.
You have to
Joshua,
toss me.
you're up.
They already went human torch mode today.
No, but they're the strong one in the group.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I'd say I'm
really-
like 75 pounds tops.
I'm really not in the mood to light myself on fire again, so... Anybody got like a really big slingshot or something?
No, just give him a hand up.
And I was about to say, damn, Zephyr, you're a freaking paperweight.
I mean, he's the size of a gnome, but he's a bunny.
Oh, shit.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm like 3'11" on a good day. My ears probably make me feel like I'm 4'5".
You're 6 feet tall as far as Joshua is concerned.
Wow.
I don't know
My
what that
attitude
means.
makes up for my height.
Well,
Anyway,
that's just
Joshua
that's a great compliment coming from the person that tried to murder you.
Hey, it's all in the past. Let bygones be bygones. Or
Mhm.
pardon.
That was last session. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, new session, new me.
Whole week, okay?
Alright, Joshua picks up Zephyr and throws him over the wall.
I have tied a rope around my waist so that it's not just me throwing a one.
Okay.
Like, just going. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even really need to throw him. You can just sort of lift him up with ease, and that's enough for him to be able to scramble over on top of the wall.
Cool. Is there an anchor point for this rope?
There is not. You will have to hold it
Okay.
and support it yourself if you intend to pull someone else.
Okay. So I'm gonna look at everybody and I'm gonna be like, could I don't think I'm strong enough to pull you guys up here. So could maybe two of you lift the next lightest person up here?
Yeah, basically this is pretty easy. If someone just wants to offer giving a leg up, everyone can climb to the next portion.
So so this is basically a military practice. I know what this is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Joshua, but you're the strongest and the tallest. Unfortunately, that makes you the best base.
God dang it.
Yeah, but
Because of
hold
his
on,
flaming
hold on.
head, people don't hold on to it very quickly.
Well, hold on. If he stays here and he's the strongest, let alone the tallest, well,
I'll help him up.
The way this is gonna work is that once we're up top, he'll take the rope and then we'll pull him up.
yeah. I
I
guess.
have a better idea. We help him up, and then we help everyone else up, and I'll go up last.
Either way, everybody's getting over the wall.
Could do a dimension door, but then again, that takes me into it.
That's a spell slot.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah,
do this
I'd
thing.
rather save that for a puzzle that might take a spell slot later.
Avlok would like to pull out his spear and like go to the person that's about to be put up next and say, "Can you hold this for me?"
I assume Talia's going
Okay.
last.
Who are you giving it to?
Giving it to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I'll hang on to your spear.
It is like a not necessarily beautiful item, but you can tell that it is not simply gilded. This spear is made out of gold. And it is hardened and forged. And very interestingly, it almost seems to be stronger because it is old and rusted. But you can tell that it is quite dinged up and battle damaged. This thing has seen a lot. It has probably survived on the ocean floor, and you assume that weathering is what has made it such a strong and powerful weapon, because otherwise gold is a pretty soft metal.
Yeah.
But Zephyr gives you a leg up, and you reach up, and everyone grabs hold of you and pulls you up, and now it is just Havelock at the base.
To the one I gave my spear to, I ask that you place it down gently away from me.
Place it down gently and away from what?
All of you.
Yeah, you could just
Okay.
hold it out in
I
front of
very
you.
quickly get back from it.
Okay.
Havelock teleports to his spear.
Okay. You watch as Havelock suddenly disintegrates, almost like in a ripple, and then is whisked this sort of like current of water that just sort of wraps around the spear, and then suddenly his hand is there and the rest of him appears.
That's a very interesting technique. Wasn't seeing that coming.
Shall we continue?
I don't like it. I don't like that.
What about?
Okay. After several feet, the path starts to slope down. Gradual at first, until it becomes too steep to stand on. As the path continues on, it becomes too dark to see anything further. Before the last light marks anything discernible, there is a metallic plaque in the ceiling that swings down to eye level just above the darkness below. It reads, "Trust. Faith is not a blind belief, but understanding things unseen and those around you."
Would you mind typing that out?
The whole thing, or just the
Just the final line. Or actually the whole thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will post everything up to this point,
That sounds good.
and I'll put it in game stuff. And I will continue to post from here on out.
Thank you.
While you're reading that, I'm gonna go top up my water real quick. We'll be right back.
Okay.
So it's basically don't just trust it. Try and like walk with, I guess, like one of those mobility sticks.
So, in a way, this is very similar to, the obstacle course and like military training, but I'm also trying to go for a backrooms type feel, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. I say to the
Havelock
group.
hands you the spear and then jumps into the hole.
Yeah, there's just a slide leading into darkness.
Yeah, Havelock puts the spear down and then just goes onto the slide and goes in.
You're just gonna go down the slide?
Yep.
Okay.
I will be back shortly.
Oh, you're gonna leave the spear behind?
Yeah.
That's smart.
That
Okay.
makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Havelock slides down into the darkness.
I hope he's still within range. That would be really awkward if he wasn't.
What do you all do?
I mean, I guess the man's just scouting out.
If he comes back,
I say we
comes
wait
back.
at most 5 minutes.
That's a long
10
time.
minutes later.
Really?
No, I'm not letting 10 minutes pass without doing anything.
Okay.
So I kind of look at the spear and I pick it up and I go, I don't like the idea that he's down there without a weapon for this long. And then I tie a rope to myself and I hand the end of it to Holgear. And then I jump down.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a little while, and then if
Holgear, do you hold the rope or do you let it
Yeah.
unspool and just hold the end?
I'll
Are you
hold
like
the rope
repelling him
yeah,
down
there's one-
or
I-
what are you doing?
I'm easing him down because I don't want to lose the end of.
Okay. You ease him down until he is completely consumed by darkness. And then there's no tension on the rope. And you kind of keep releasing the rope slowly, but it's like there's no weight on it.
Okay. I'm gonna start pulling it back.
Okay. You pull it back up and it's just the end of the rope.
Shit.
Fuck, that rope was so long and now it's cut in half.
Nope, it's still full length. You're just not on the other end of it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
still full length.
Interesting.
Real quick, can I cast dancing lights and send them down the tunnel?
You cast dancing lights, and they illuminate the space around you and reflect off of these brilliant, smooth and luminescent walls, and the light bounces off of them beautifully. And as you send them down, they quickly start to diminish and disappear. You get the idea that it's magical darkness.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, fuck it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
It's adventuring time.
Yeah. First comes the group. I'll go down the slide. Also, should we bring the spear with us? Probably should, right?
You can't say
I already
anything
grabbed
to
the
you.
spear.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, never mind then. Yep. Down the sliding aisle.
Okay.
I'm keeping my.
Talia and Joshua, you are the last ones at the top.
Joshua jumps into the magical black void.
Okay. Talia?
Run, jump, and do a fucking flip into the hole.
All right, make an
How long
acrobatics check.
the motherfuckers?
If you're doing a flip, you do an acrobatics check. That's the rule. If you're flipping, it's acrobatics.
Should have done a flip, damn it.
Should have done a flip down. No, that's a 15.
Okay. You flip and you feel yourself falling, and then you don't feel anything for a moment. And then suddenly you land on the ground. Actually, let's cut back to Havelock. You fall down the slide first, and you land with ease. And then you look around, and you see the pathway continuing on. What do you do?
There's no.
No, Havelock.
He said Havelock. I was
Oh,
about
that's
to-
right. Cool.
I'd wait a couple minutes to see, and then I take it I wasn't able to teleport to my spear.
You were not.
So after realizing that, I'm just thinking to myself,
There's some sort of
I hope-
magical barrier prohibiting you.
I hope they managed to bring that to me.
And then suddenly a bunny falls, and you manage to catch him, just like with your quick reflexes. And he hands you your spear.
Oh god. That was much more terrifying than I thought. I think you left this. And I
Oh,
handed him the spear back.
thank you kindly.
Zephyr, as you begin to stand up, suddenly Holgir falls. It is now your turn to do a trust fall. Catch Holgir.
I fully jump out of the way.
Okay.
Can I
Holgir,
set a
you are
save?
quickly
Can I set
falling
a-
towards Havelock. Do you want to?
I'd like to give it a second.
Okay, make a strength check.
I don't want to get crushed. I'm 75 pounds.
Zephyr, everyone has to take turns with the trust fall.
It's a great mechanic,
That's a
but
15.
also
Oh
Zephyr's
wait, did
a
I need to
wee
do a
lad.
save or set?
It's strength check. Just a strength check.
Oh, then yeah, 15.
Okay, yeah, you catch Holgir.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello to you. Welcome.
Alright, let's get ready for the other ones.
Okay, Joshua falls.
I'm not helping this one.
Joshua's
trying to
falling
help him.
head first, also. So the DC will
I'm
be a
going
little
for it.
higher.
I
Havelock
said
just
I
like scoots to the side.
jump in head first.
Oh, I thought you were like jumping head first.
No, I did like a cannonball.
Oh,
yeah, that's a
okay.
dangerous proposition in any slot.
Okay, yeah, so he's like a little bit out of where you would expect. I will say that if Havelock and Holgir want to work together and like link arms, that will lower the DC.
I'm down with that.
So one of you can
I
roll
would-
strength with advantage, or you can individually roll.
I would
What's
have
your strength?
I have nothing.
No
in my
metagaming,
strength.
Oh,
but well,
One of us are-
actually, I guess that's
spaghetti
not
arm lad.
metagaming because Havelock looks stronger.
I say we go with one of us with advantage.
Yeah, you do it. I'm a spaghetti armed lad.
Yeah,
I would
Alright, saving
also
throw
like
is
to
10.
say
Holgir's assistant.
that-
That works.
I would like to say that Zephyr seeing them link up is kind of like moved over to one of where their hands are linked up and is like holding that up as well.
Well, actually, when Zephyr leapt, he impaled himself on a stalagmite. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
So
Just
Yeah,
instinctually
right.
jumped up
Guys,
into it.
Well, like trying to
Dude, fucking
save the one
yikes.
guy, the other dude's bleeding out on the stalagmite.
Actually, it'd be a
He's, like, coughing
stalactite.
out
My
blood.
apologies.
Oh Jesus.
But anyways,
it's fine.
no,
I'll
you're
just second wind.
fine. Okay, you want to go do what now? You want to touch their hand?
I essentially just kind of want to
You wanna
like
feel
how
involved.
a jack functions for a car. I want to do that for their hand.
Okay, sure. Havelock, what'd you get? You have advantage.
I got a 14.
Zephyr, I need you to describe exactly where you are right now.
I am directly underneath that link of hands. Not
Okay,
in the middle of the circle, one side of it.
Zephyr, I need you to make a strength check.
Okay.
Because unfortunately,
Come
as Joshua has tucked and rolled, he falls directly between Havelock and Holgir's hands.
Wow. I got a 21.
Okay.
yeah.
Awful strength.
Hey, same here, bud. High five.
Joshua, you cannonball down and land just pinpoint accuracy on top of this bunny, and he just like freaks out and flexes and just like catches you.
Yeah, it's like accidental cheerleading.
Well, it's like in times of crisis when people suddenly have bursts of strength. Zephyr was like his life flashed before his eyes, and he just like held up his hands. Just
I set him down and I go, never again will that ever happen. I swear to it. And I just walk over and I sit down and I am shook.
Hey, the good news is I think you guys are even.
Yeah, I made up for it.
Yeah,
Like-
you made up for it.
Every part of your body is sore right now.
Yeah. I'm just
Okay.
over there with sore muscles like I've worked out for an entire day.
Okay, Joshua, what would you like to do?
Joshua gets up and dusts himself off and says, "Well, I don't see the point in that challenge, but let's continue before something goes wrong."
Okay, Joshua
move out
turns
the
and
way.
walks off as Talia flips out of the darkness.
Oh crap! Joshua runs back and tries to catch Talia.
Okay,
We're
make a
still
strength
here.
check.
Sorry,
Well,
I thought we were still had our arms locked together.
Talia, you guys are ready at the base of it, but Talia wasn't sliding down. She leapt.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
So,
I would like to use the 20.
okay, yeah, you catch Talia. She like spins in the air and comes feet first, ready to just like flying kick you, and you just whoop catch her in your arms.
Joshua winks at her in like a joking way and then drops her.
Okay.
Wink, drops on floor.
Thank you, Joshua.
Okay.
Anytime, Captain.
This next room is a large pit full of sand. Stepping around is a little cumbersome as the sand is completely dry, allowing those of small size or large weight to sink slightly. There appears to be a floor several feet below just from feeling around, but there does not seem to be of anything note below the surface. In the center of the room is a section of a large statue with most of it missing. You can discern the figure is kneeling down. A gentle light from the ceiling above, where a hole is, diffuses light down, illuminating the chamber. There are various pathways leading to darkness in the walls around you. At the base of the statue is a plaque that reads, "Humility, helping others requires great strength. Kneeling to others requires much more."
Anybody else get the sense they kind of want us to make a bridge out of bodies?
I get that feeling too.
Let me be clear. The statue is quite large. Like all you can see out of it basically is like half of a thigh and a foot, and that alone is like I'm gonna say 12 feet long. And then you can see the other foot that's sort of positioned beside it.
Can I do an investigation check of the area?
Okay, what are you investigating?
The sand.
You're just rooting around in the sand?
Yeah.
Sure.
Just like
Go for
poking
it.
the spear into the sand. Ooh, got a 3. That's a 10.
And you're just searching around in this room?
Yeah.
You don't find anything other than the large statue. But there are rooms in the walls around you.
Oh, I'd like to go to one.
Okay. It is also complete black inside. So if you wander in, you will be blind.
Can I
Is it
try
magic
my-
darkness or normal
It is
darkness?
magical darkness.
Ah, well, never mind. I was gonna say I have dark vision, but that doesn't work on me. I walk in and like I'm slowly poking around with the spear.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
$19.
Okay. You begin to trip and fall, but you manage to catch yourself. You can turn around and look and see the large room behind you. You just can't see anything while you're in this chamber. Rather, you can see the chamber no matter how far you go into these other rooms, but you cannot make any details while you're in this chamber. But what you can tell is that these just seem to be narrow hallways, and there is sand along the ground. But it is very difficult to walk through the sand.
I'd like to walk back and stab my spear at like the very start of it, and then go down the hallway.
Okay. You do so. Yeah, you can just like stick your spear in the sand.
Like before he goes down the hallway, if my spear starts sinking, can one of you grab it for me?
Yep.
I mean, you could just
Sure.
stick it until it hits the ground.
Oh, in that case, he just does that. And then he just starts walking down the hallway.
It starts to sink. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah, no! I've been lied to, damn it!
No, it's
Why'd I
all good.
believe him?
Go ahead and make another dexterity saving throw. As you're walking down one of these hallways.
That's a 22.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. And you're just exploring one of the hallways?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you eventually get to the end. It's about, I'll say like 20 feet long by the time you get to the end of it. And there definitely seems to be something else at the end of it that you can you start to trip over, but you manage to figure out where it is. And it feels kind of smooth and glassy.
And I decided to do like an investigation check to see if I could tell what it is.
There's unfortunately nothing you can do other than just sort of feel around. It does seem to be like a piece of something, and you can move it around while it's in the sand, and you can try and pick it up if you want.
Oh, in that case, I'm gonna pick it up.
All right, make a strength check. Actually, no, you don't need to make a strength check for this. You
Oh, come on,
pick
I
it up.
just wrote it.
Okay.
And I got an 18 too.
All right, yeah, you heave it up over one shoulder, and you're fine.
Alright, I'd like to walk back.
Okay, make another dexterity saving throw. Is anyone else doing anything?
That's a 12.
Okay, you trip and fall, and you drop the item.
Damn it. Alright, I'd like to try to find it again.
Okay, yeah, you find it again.
I gotta roll another strength check.
Yeah, if you want to try and stand up and carry this thing, you gotta make a dexterity saving
Alright.
throw. You don't need to make a strength check to pick it up.
Okay, I just wrote strength and I got a 15. Alright, let's go with dex. Come on. Ooh, that's a good one. 25.
Okay, yeah. Havelock comes stumbling back out of one of these hallways, and he seems to have what looks like a black smooth stone that probably looks like it would match the statue.
I believe we need to go down the hallways.
I don't think that's true. I think we gotta get this chunk to that chunk.
And where do you think the other pieces will be besides down the hallway?
How about we try and get this chunk there and then see if there's no reaction. If there's no reaction, we can look for more.
Havelock does a real quick face palm.
What?
Then just takes his spear and walks towards the statue to put the sunk in.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like this is like the ankle of the other foot. So you can set it into place.
Alright, I'm gonna set it.
Quick question.
Yes.
With my sand striders, would I be able to walk through the sand?
Yeah, you're able to walk on top of the sand as if it were hard ground.
Nice.
Yeah, you're able to
Okay.
walk across the sand with ease.
Yeah.
So
I'll
you
walk
don't need to
over
make any
the-
dexterity saving throws.
Nice.
I don't like sand. It gets everywhere.
Alright,
try,
Anakin
Anakin.
Skywalker.
Yes!
Yes, we all get the
All right.
reference.
Shut up.
Hey, you're not the only one who can make references. But
Yes,
anyway,
Sparrow.
Mine are the only ones that are worth anything, though.
Wow! Wow!
Yeah.
I see how it is.
harsh.
Only because I'm the
game.
game master and I give out egg points for people to get my references.
Rude.
Also, nobody has gotten any references so far this session, so.
What are you talking about? I got one only.
Oh,
Yoda.
that's true. You got one. I meant like since we've gotten into the cave. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Can I check for any more pieces out here?
There are no pieces in the main room, but there are more pieces in these hallways.
Okay. In that
Havelock just
case,
like gives him the side eye.
The idea is that you will have to root around on the ground on all fours to try and find these things and maneuver quickly and easily. But Havelock is determined to stumbling around while standing, so he's probably going to keep doing that.
Alright, Havelock goes down the next tunnel.
Okay. But yeah, if you guys would like to, you may investigate the remaining rooms.
Yep, I have no shame. I'll go hands and knees.
I would love to. Could I use perception instead of investigation?
You don't need to look for them.
Oh, it's not a
You-
roll. It's just you're investigating active. Got it.
Right.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and do that on one of the rooms we haven't checked yet.
Yeah, as long as you're on all fours, you won't fall over. That's
Yeah.
that's the lesson here.
Gotcha.
I like the lesson.
But you pull out the pieces of the statue and begin assembling it. And for some of you, the statue is recognizable. The figure is kneeling with one knee up and one knee just sort of planted on the ground. And they've got their arms sort of situated as if they're pushing up on the ceiling, and their hand is actually piercing up through the hole, and you can climb up the statue like a staircase. And the figure is squat and small, but their form is large, as they have been one of the supporting roles for a long time. Since the very beginning, one of the cornerstones, the base of this group, still supporting you even now that he is gone. Jack is here.
Oh shit!
Hey boy.
The thievery man?
Yes, the small gnome that could grow in size to large proportions.
Havelock just looks at them. Friend of yours.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, I wouldn't know who this is because we lost all memory.
You do recognize this face, and you do understand that this is a person that is important to you. You, now that you are outside of yourself and outside of time and space, you do remember Jack.
Oh, okay.
And maybe
I
there's
like
a
the
few
way like
tears
Havelock
as you
never
remember.
introduced himself or anything.
You did briefly.
Nah, they just looked at him and were like, "Is he with you guys?"
Weird fish man. Okay.
I mean, yeah. I'll go ahead and leave a gold piece at Jack's feet. Climb the statue.
He reaches down and no, I'm just kidding.
Oh Jesus!
He says, "You stay, I go," or "You go, I stay." Never mind. Dang it! No.
Iron Giant.
Good
Yes,
job,
take an
Iron
egg
Giant.
point.
Also, Joshua waves goodbye to the statue.
Okay. His face is solemn, neither sad nor happy, but simply content and understanding that they know what they're doing. You all climb into a fairly large chamber that is illuminated with light reflecting across the smooth walls, curving up to the ceiling that reflects down, bouncing around the rest of the room. At the far end of the room is a doorway leading on, but a moat covers most of the room, with water rushing through, too strong to swim across. Large chunks of wood float across the surface of the water. They seem to be pieces of debris, possibly from a ship or some kind. These pieces are far too heavy to be carried away as fast as the current is. There are also stone pillars and outcroppings sparsely placed across the moat that the driftwood occasionally rests against before continuing to float along. Basically, there are like pillars that you can jump to, but there's also like paths that these pieces of wood are following that you can, sort of use to stair step your way across. It's basically Frogger.
Yeah, I was basically gonna say basically a game of Frogger.
At the edge of the bank along the moat, there's a plaque in the ground that reads, "Unity. Others may weigh you down, but we are always stronger together."
I almost feel like it wants us to tie ourselves together and then go across. That way, if one of us gets knocked off, the others can help.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I was
So
wondering
we
if
get
Unity
knocked off,
might.
What's gonna happen?
I imagine you make a check and pray you roll well.
I will say this. The pieces of wood do not look like they are big enough to hold the entire party, but definitely could support several. I'll say
Okay.
like maybe 3.
Could I hop on someone's back?
You absolutely could.
I'm
You
willing to
intend on
carry
just being dead weight the entire
Okay.
tribe?
it. Damn! No, damn!
He's a tiny little bunny boy.
I know what you're on
To
about.
make
He
things
helped with that one guy.
easier.
I see. You just wanted to be a familiar. You didn't want to be a player. My mistake.
I mean,
didn't
harsh
know.
as hell. That's fucking rough.
I'm
but
sorry.
If that's the
Hey, still,
that's
he
the route
helped
we
save
wanna
that one
play.
guy.
That is true. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
He's
make
not
it sound as
complete
bad as I
deadweight.
did the first time I said it, but then I decided to stick to
Damn,
it.
Sparrow. You roasted him at the beginning.
I am so
you plan
sorry.
on being dead weight the whole time, huh?
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Oh, come on, dude.
Harsh.
Give him a chance. It's okay, Bunny Man, and I'm like petting your shoulder. It's okay.
It's okay. A weird chill came over you, and I'm sure it made you feel really bad, but I'm here to comfort you, he says.
Here, take this, and you just spear him.
Now you all backup food.
But yeah, I feel
Oh my
like
goodness.
all the trials
Zephyr's
haven't been
emergency
to his
food.
strengths.
Oh God.
Nobody got that reference. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't quite hear you.
A Zephyr is
Emergency food.
emergency food?
One Piece? I don't know.
No.
No, I did not
that's
know that
rough.
one.
It's Genshin Impact. It's fine.
I've never played
Yeah,
that
that would be
game.
the reason.
Basically, there's an annoying familiar like Navi. This like the voice for the character that's like, "Hey, so you should go do this. I'm gonna speak for the voiceless character." And basically the main character is like, like, "Who is your friend?" And you can either say like, "This is my friend," or you could say, "This is emergency food." And then it's just a running joke that you're only keeping this annoying voice around because they're emergency food.
I like this idea.
Exactly. I knew you would.
I like this game already. Where do I find it?
It's free.
The good news is we'll never have to do that because we've got.
Anywho, what would you all like to do with the trial in front of you?
There are 3 ways we can go, correct?
What do you mean?
Like, either on one of the wood things or in the... where we jump on the... what's it called?
You can attempt to jump to the stone pillars, but it will be quite difficult. You can make your way across the wood, you just have to time it. Which you could almost pretty much walk across if you do so. But I guess the idea is that you all want to go together because you're going to tie each other together?
I don't know.
I dislike this idea.
We should do
In my
ice
mi-
climber pairs if we're gonna do any sort of
A
like
buddy
tying
system.
together. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
in
I
my
gotta
mind,
go.
it was
Good night.
people.
I love you all.
Yeah, but see, there's only 5 of us. There's only 5 of us, so one of us would have to go alone, or it would be
Or
it would be a 2 in one group and 3 in another group.
I am
Joshua can go
lightweight.
Um,
alone.
Havelock thinks for a second, then realizes, if I give you my spear and you guys do it, I'll just teleport to it.
Oh, that's smart. I like that
That
plan.
works.
But Joshua
Yeah,
has
that
to go to bed. I also work in the morning, so how
Do we wanna
how
end the
do
session here?
people Feel about putting a pause.
I'm okay with that. I have to work in the morning too.
We can end the session here.